Is the Brandon Williams deal off? Is the Adam Armstrong deal on? Let's have a chat. All right, hello and welcome to the MatchDayVlogs YouTube channel. Chat, I can see what you're doing. You're doing the front end pose. It's fine. Hello and welcome to the channel. Remember, if you're new here, to smash that subscribe button and pummel that like button, because believe it or not, it really does make a difference to the channel. So, how are we doing, Jack? We're on full-on holiday mode, so mate, we're just trying to relax ourselves before we talk about some...
Do you want to know how bright my future is?
Go on then.
It's that bright.
Any more? No, it's just the two pairs. Just the two pairs. I was wondering. Right, so we are here to talk about transfer activity. There's been a few things flying around, and Jack has made some notes, which is a bit more than what I've done, to be honest with you. I've seen a few things going around, but Jack, do you want to just give us? Is it good news? Bad news?
I would say relatively, all in all, pretty bad.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, like and subscribe.
So, yeah. So the official stuff we know is that Jankowicz has gone to Young Boys in Switzerland.
Yep.
So he's gone for less than £1 million apparently, which is obviously the United game really did a number on. Nalundalu, he's got a new 3-year contract with us, but now he's gone to Lincoln for the year. I
saw that as well. Yeah.
So that's another interesting one. And Jake Vokins is on loan at Ross County. So. That's a fullback gone. So
yeah,
best really hope we get another fullback. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, indeed. Any thoughts on the Jankovic still? I mean, it kind of feels a bit odd because we never really got to see what he could do.
Well, he put in a transfer request in January, didn't he? Last year, do you remember? Just before the United game, he put in that transfer request, and then the United game happened, and I feel like that whole mixture of things probably just doesn't. God, that's a good sound.
Yeah, that's why
probably doesn't
mics.
Exactly. That's all we need them for. It's just that. Yep. So yeah, I feel like between the transfer request anyway and that game, and I don't know what his attitude must have been like around that, but he's gone. It's the fact that it's less than $1 million. I'll be interested to see if there's a sell-on clause at all, but should be. So that's the 3 deals that are done.
Yep. Yeah,
and so the Brandon Williams one is the one that I guess most people are talking about.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so it looks a week ago it sounded pretty much like it was going to happen, and then Dan Sheldon at the Athletic today has kind of said that United have asked for a £2 million loan fee on top of us paying however much we're going to pay for his wage, and his wage, is 65k a week.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Which is unreal. So when Lingard went to West Ham last year, they paid a 1.5 million loan fee. So this is just Woodward and the Glazers trying to get their money in any which way but Sunday. So they want to. So that sounds like it probably won't happen. Yeah. And when that's now probably off the cards and you look at the squad and you're like, oh my God, there is no depth. Like we need to be buying quick because that squad ain't good enough. Well, sorry, 11 players are good enough, but the depth is just, there's no depth at all. Like that, I feel like Elianusi is going to be staying this year.
Yeah.
I think that's happening.
I was just trying to find a tweet by, I think it was Lucy. Someone thinks she does a lot of things for other Saints channels as well. You have to get you on the show. You're more than welcome. But she was saying how it's a bit, especially the Nalundalu one, is because you look at that and you think, okay, Saints have got a very small squad. So effectively what happens is the academy or the younger players get put on the first team sheets and then get 20 minutes at the end of a game just for the sake of it. And it's not really developing them as players because they're not getting the game time they should be, but nor are they at the quality level where they can get that game time, if that makes sense. So they're not the quality to play at Premier League level just yet. That's not to say that they're not going to be great players for the future. So I sort of understand the Nalundulu deal in the sense that here's a 3-year contract. You're going out on loan this season, and
that
it's
makes
really
sense to
bad.
me. I see enough in the London. I know you absolutely hate him. I don't know why.
I don't hate him. I just don't think he knows it as well. He's not quite Premier League
There's
quality
a reason
yet.
he's on loan to Lincoln, but it's great that he's got a 3-year deal. That is potential. I see potential in him. I think he's a decent looking forward. The goal in the FA Cup was decent. I think just more performances like that get that confidence up, and I think hopefully he'll be there. But no, and I think Lincoln have a pretty good setup for taking loan players and get him to perform a bit. So I'm happy to see him off there.
What you want is a club where he can go to and play 90 minutes.
Yeah,
like exactly. Every game to play 90 minutes, because that's the only way he's going to develop his game. But you would hope that you could play at a level. I mean, Lincoln are they League One?
League One, I do believe, yes.
Okay. So you would kind of hope that you might get a championship side.
That means they'd play Portsmouth this next season, so I'll be watching out for Lincoln Portsmouth.
Oh yeah, that'd be a fun away game.
All the fun things that are happening for them right now.
Yeah, no, indeed. But that's what I mean. I mean, you would hope that players can go somewhere, but in the same respect, I mean, we had Jan Valery and Jake Vogins out on loan last season, and they couldn't get game time, which is kind of like the worst case scenario, because they're not available for us to pick and choose and bolster out our bench, nor are they getting the development time that they need to. So it's a real lottery, really. But but this Brandon Williams deal, I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. They want they want $2 million loan fee for a season.
Yeah, $2 million loan fee for the season, but then you have to keep in mind that also will include however much of that weekly wage you have to pay. So that'd be $2 million on top of. I mean, I would assume that they would want us to pay pretty much all of it, which is $65K. So that's just outrageous. So that's the sticking point right now. So unless Woodward decides otherwise, but here's the thing: United, their back four is getting pretty depthful right now. They've got a lot of depth in that squad, and I feel like Williams will go unused in that squad. So I feel like it's a win for everyone there. But it's just greedy. I feel that's more greediness from United that we know that was going to happen. So
it seems very unnecessary.
It does.
If you think about it, I mean, if Solskjaer or the Man United board want game time for someone like Brandon Williams, then ultimately, if that's the deal for other clubs, then I think he's more likely to get game time with us than any other Premier League club. I mean, he can play on both sides, right?
Exactly. So it for me, it just stinks of we all know. I think once again, if you thought last year's transfer window was rough, this one is looking to be a lot rougher. Player prices are absolutely outrageous. We'll talk about Armstrong in a second with what's the craziness that's going on there. But yeah, it just looks like clubs are trying to make their money back any which way, and if they can get $2 million here, $3 million there, $1.5 million there, I think they're going to do it.
Yeah.
So that's just it. And obviously, United are going to have to make a lot of money back because nobody is going to be buying that home shirt.
Yeah,
because it's ugly. It's disgusting, and if you don't like the Glazers, you shouldn't buy the shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack, thank you so much for this super chat. Very much appreciate your support to the channel.
Love to see that, mate. Thank you for that.
Appreciated. Jack saying transfer news was looking good, but we bottled it, and this season will be relegation scrap, in my opinion, sadly. But I hope this five helps. Love the content. Thanks very much, Jack. It does indeed help. Lifts the mood, certainly, of the stream.
Absolutely.
But I think it's really tricky because you look at what we did last season and coming towards the end, and we beat Sheffield United and we had an amazing run-in, and we ended up with 52 points, and we were going into the next season and this is going to be great. And the first two games weren't particularly great, and it was particularly great to the start of the season, but we had this expectation, like, if we don't get European football, we're going to be disappointed. And then we ended relatively safe. Yep. It sort of dragged out a long time at the beginning of this year until we were safe. But our expectation level, my point is, was very, very high. And I think we go into this season thinking like a bit more realistic, a bit more sort of like calm. Okay, it was a great achievement, but all things considered, really,
I just want
is what
stability
it
this
is.
season. Like last season, it seemed like it was too good for too long, and it went so bad. If we can have a decent run and then it drop off, but then we win a few more games, it's just easier than last season. I would say if we can have, this might be saying an awful lot, but if we can get maybe 5 extra wins and maybe 2 more draws, amazing.
Yeah.
Like different kind of season we're talking about. So yeah, collectively, I think we can all sort of go into this season and think, yeah, let's lower them expectations. But then again, I kind of went into last season. We go back to our, we kind of were hoping for top 10, and then what happened, and we thought more. But reality, if we can get 10th, awesome. That's kind of the same thing I was hoping for. Cup runs, that's what we're all about. Let's get another FA Cup run. Let's get another League Cup run. That's what I want to see.
I mean, you look at other clubs. It's not like Wolves had a great season, and no one's really talking about them in regards to, oh my goodness.
Nuno had a great season. That's why he got the Spurs job, not because he was the only one left.
I mean, they did have a terrible injury to
Jimenez.
Raul Jimenez. I believe he's on the road to recovery now, but of course that would have knocked off their season. But you look at some of the players who perhaps departing them, and maybe Wolves is a club that's going to be in and amongst it next season, down in the relegation zone. Then, I mean, it wasn't that long ago that we were knocked out the League Cup by Championship Wolves, who looked very, very good. So all these things change on a quite regular basis. So we shall see, really.
Absolutely.
So what do you know about this Armstrong deal?
So Adam Armstrong. So this is where the sticking point here is. They bought him from Newcastle, and Newcastle have a 40% sell-on clause. So they're factoring that into their price. So in reality, everyone's estimating him to be an 8 mil striker, maybe 10. Blackburn are asking for 20 for him. Which, considering in this current day and age where everyone seems to be putting price tags in it, Danny Ings is a 20 mil player. So how Blackburn have
he's not, but
that's the price tag for him. So how Blackburn can possibly think that's okay? So on the flip side of that, what I have heard that might be likely is that we offer them 8 to 10 mil plus Obafemi. Whether that's Obafemi on a permanent, on a loan, so they can find somebody else. Because let's be honest, this is one of those things where it's listen, we're going to help you out here because you're going to get Newcastle going to take a big sting of this. But let's be real here. This is the price. This is the actual price of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like with the whole Danny situation, I saw a comment down there that says, let's let Danny go on a free, and next season, and get him to settle with Adam Armstrong. I think I'm absolutely with that. I feel let's get Adam in, fresh new striker, get him in with Danny, get a bit of class about the joint. You
let Danny go on a free?
Yeah. I'd rather have him go on a free than get 20 mil from this season and not really spend it properly. What are you going to get with that 20 mil? You're going to get Adam Armstrong. Would you be really happy getting 20 mil for Danny Ings and spending 20 mil on Adam Armstrong?
I'd be happy then if he went for a free. I mean, if he goes for a free at the end of next season, that's a different conversation. But
yeah, but at the same time, you could have a season where it works, and we do finish ridiculous position, and it's kind of it's almost like rather than playing for any title next season, we're playing to keep Danny.
Yeah.
It's like where if we finish here, Danny could stay. If we finish in the European spot, he could stay. If we finish with a decent cut run, he could stay. If he can end the season saying, "This is what I signed on for. There's the potential here." Okay, it's kind of what we're playing for.
Exactly. It's like, we just need to know where Danny Ings sits.
Absolutely,
right there.
But
right here.
Spurs are really asking
money for him. Or he plays until at least January. That's. I reckon Danny will stay until January. That's my gut feeling.
I can see that. Because Spurs seem to be the front runner in the press, but not with us. I feel it sounds like Ralph and the club is kind of don't want to send him to Spurs.
I don't think Danny wants to go to Spurs, really.
But Spurs very much want him. But Spurs want him to play with Kane.
Yeah, that's just that's ridiculous.
Which is crazy. And
Kane won't be there.
I saw some figures, 20 mil. Spurs don't want to pay 20 mil because it's Levy. So I saw some names that are like, oh, this might happen as a part of a swap deal with Danny Ings. And not a single one of these names do I want. Would you want Harry Winks in your team?
No.
No.
I wouldn't want Ryan Sessegnon either. Is he on that list?
Rondon, and Skip.
Yeah.
No, thanks, Spurs. You can keep them. Keep them.
No, I did see Sessegnon was on that list as well, though, wasn't he? Ryan
I think I saw
Sessegnon?
Sessegnon on that list, but again,
We have plenty of players like Ryan Sessegnon, and
thanks.
yeah.
No thanks.
I don't see that. I don't see just the idea that Danny would believe he'd be playing up front with Harry Kane. It's just like,
if he's going to a team like Spurs or like West Ham, because that's another random name that I've seen, and some Villa. If he's going to go to one of those kind of clubs, it'll be in January when he can be like, okay, how are they performing this season? Was it just last season where they had a bit of form? Like, is David Moyes going to last that long? Who knows?
He's not going to be cup tied for any European football. It's all that kind of stuff that perhaps might be a bit of a difference. But I don't know, just the idea of him going to Spurs. I mean, yeah.
In my mind, if you go to Spurs, I'm like, go on then, go to Spurs. Like, I look at Højbjerg now, I'm like, enjoy yourself.
Because how much did we get from Spurs for Højbjerg?
Was it
with a year
15?
left on his contract? Yeah.
Was it 15? And then, although it wasn't involved, it seemed like it was involved with the Kyle Walker-Peters price as well.
Yeah. That's a great deal for us, though. You said our
in the
last
end, we
transfer window was abysmal. Wasn't that bad? It's pretty good.
Oh, hold on, I never said that.
Didn't you? I thought you said last summer it wasn't that great.
I said that the window itself was abysmal. It was a lot harder than we think. Like, we would have had, if it was easy, we would have Brendan Williams. We wouldn't have ended up with Minamino in the middle of the season. No, there's a few things that would have been different. But on the whole,
January was rough. January
exactly. So on the whole, it was. I thought it was. Salasu was great. Walcott seems to be good. I won't say great yet, but he's bringing an ethos and an ethics to the club. I like the amount of interviews he's doing and the stuff that he's saying. He's a real team leader. And for a while, I've been saying that we needed more captains in the squad and more leaders. I kind of thought, in my mind, I wanted a bit more roughness on the pitch, just a few more hard nuts. But I think Walcott is more savvy, so I think I'm happy to have him. That's all good.
I think so too. I think also Dexter's brings up an interesting comment here. If Ings wants to go to Spurs, he'll just sit on the bench, just gets injured like every week. The injury thing is creeping up again. He's had a few hamstring issues, and I think that's probably tying into the thought process as well. But I look at, if anyone's going to be playing up front with Harry Kane, it's Son Heung-min.
Yeah, you would have thought so.
Yeah. I mean, what happens to that guy? It's like, I don't understand that.
Spurs, there is a lack of respect for Spurs outside of their Harry Kane attackers. Like Lucas Moura, I think Lucas Moura is a great player, and there's a good stretch for Spurs under Poch where he was.
The Celso?
He was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of hoping there's no rumors about it yet. I'm kind of hoping that maybe we might pick somebody up from like the maybe the Palace fallout. They've got a lot of no contracts. I know. Listen, guys, it's never going to happen ever, ever, ever. Can you imagine how funny it would be if Zaha signed for us?
Is he out of contract?
I'm pretty sure he's one of the ones out of contract. I think most their starting 11 is out.
The whole squad.
Vieira has a very hard job. So
I lost the end of that. I think you
I'm sorry. I said Patrick Vieira is going to have a very hard job.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a bit of a Frank de Boer season for Crystal Palace. Yeah. I think the first 5 games, if he doesn't get anything from those, it'll be change it.
So it's fine. That's all we need. I do have one more transfer rumor. This is my favourite one so far. Is Isaac Hayden from Newcastle.
Okay.
Centre defensive midfielder. He pretty much tops all their defensive stats from last season. It's like 52 tackles and loads of interceptions. It sounds like about 12 mil and maybe a Lamina to them. I think he's a great player. I think another CDM is something that we definitely need.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think he is really, really good. He got great. I've spoken to some Newcastle fans, one in particular. He does tell me he just puts in an absolute effort. He really puts a shift in every game. It's great running stats, and that is exactly what we want. If you can't have Oreo on the pitch, it'd be great to have something else. Mm-hmm. Also, I think I haven't got him right down. I think he's about 26, so that's a good, age for that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's league proven, and he was one of the very few highlights in that Newcastle squad, and they seem to be having a bit of an exodus as well. So it's all interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness, Jack, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oh,
Jack's putting another super chat here. Ellie Nusi seems the sort of new signing, but don't see Armstrong happening. But who replaces Ings other than Armstrong, and how many more signings do you realistically predict? I predict. Do you know what? I think the striker thing is it could catch us out, and that's the worries, because if this Adam Armstrong deal doesn't come off, then effectively we could be looking at a situation where Ings departs. I'm talking worst case scenario here, so sit comfortably on this one. Ings departs, we don't get any business done, and effectively Shane Long signs a contract extension. No disrespect to Shane Long, but effectively we can end with Long, Adams, and Obafemi, with Nalundlu going out on loan already. So we have to be careful that something gets done quickly. So in terms of the number of signings I think are coming in, I would certainly expect us to get someone else in a fullback position. Yeah. Whether that's Brandon Williams on that stupid deal or something gets resolved on that. But I certainly expect another fullback position. I think you're absolutely right, Joe. We definitely need another CDM. And I see someone coming in up front. There's something happening. Even if no one else goes, someone has to come in up front. So I would say we're looking at least 3.
Yeah, I agree. I think another fullback, a CDM, a striker, and even if that I feel like an actual out-and-out striker is more important. Than in the season, there was a part of me that thought maybe we need to look at someone replacing Redmond on that side, but like we need depth all over the squad. Like in reality, we need 5 or 6, but I'd be happy with 4 at this point where we are. There are other names that you sort of see floating about, like Tammy Abraham seems to be out of Chelsea's favour.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be something.
Tammy? I quite like the idea of Tammy Abraham.
I do like the idea of Tammy Abraham. It's the right kind of thing for us. Young English striker, a bit out of favour. Mm-hmm. He can look at Danny and think, great. But also at the same time, a young English player, he can look at James Ward-Prowse and I'll set up for that. So there's a lot there. I think, the way that he was treated when Frank Lampard came in, it was, that we all sort of saw that. So maybe Southampton would be a good fit for him. So Tammy wouldn't be a bad shout. I'd be worried if it was something like, I think Lukaku, not Lukaku. I think Benteke is out of contract with Palace. I'd be worried if we got a Benteke. I don't really want a Benteke. But do you know what I mean? One of those sort of Premier League strikers that's a bit. What's his name from Everton, the Bournemouth boy, King, Joshua King.
Oh yeah, Josh King. Yeah,
Josh King. I could see that maybe. So yeah, there's a few things there that floating about that I feel like worst comes to worst, we'd grab them from there. Nico Williams from Liverpool's another one I keep seeing. Again, might be a loan deal. I think we've got I think the nice thing with Liverpool rating all of our players is that we have quite a decent relationship with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think in reality, I think the Minamino deal was quite good for us.
Yeah,
and I feel like maybe a loan from Nico Williams, considering the amount of players that Liverpool seem to be signing this summer, that might be a decent.
Yeah, I think they have to be honest with you. If, in terms of the fact they're in so many competitions, they're not going to be, foolish again and be too tight on the purse strings. I think they really have to go for it, because if Klopp thinks he's got a shallow squad and doesn't have any faith in his extended squad, then they have to do something. So you're absolutely right. I think if they're buy, then we need to take perhaps some of their players who want game time.
There is another free agent that I was thinking about today. It was his. I can't remember. I think it was his birthday today.
Oh, apparently, hang on. Sorry, King joined Watford. There we go.
There you are.
There you go.
Yeah. The free agent that is Graziano Pelle.
I saw that. Yeah. Happy birthday to you. There we go.
I don't know what. Every part of me thinks like I feel like that would work. I feel like it would be a Cavani signing. He would come and just.
I'd love it.
It'd be our Giroud. He would come on 70 minutes, score a couple of bouters.
Yeah.
I think they should do it.
Can you imagine it? Right, you've got fans back in the stadium, and Walcott's back. Yay! And Pele's back.
Ah!
Exactly. Can you imagine the reaction?
And starting at centre back, Maya Yoshida. Bum, 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 bum.
That would be epic. That would be epic. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether there's any truth in that. I think he's obviously still a very fit player and can play at the highest level in Italy. So why not?
That's what I mean. He can do a job, and if we're looking for squad depth, I think he's a brilliant player. No offense to Shane Long, but if you give him me, if we're we need a goal in the last 10 minutes, I'd rather have Graziano Pelle come on.
Yeah.
Big dude, score from the air. He doesn't need to move that much, but he still can do a bit of business. Oh, he's just great, and also he's just good on the eyes, isn't he? Just good on the eyes.
Yeah, and I reckon we could probably get him on a good deal as well. In terms of
I feel like he would take a somewhat of a wage cut. Like obviously he's on very good money still. That's the reason he went to China. That's the reason he went to Italy.
Yeah,
but I feel like he could come and do a bit of a favour for us.
And that's the issue. Oliver here's put up bringing Daniel Sturridge. He's a free agent. And,
I saw him training with an Italian team this week. I can't remember which one.
Oh, okay. And then Steve directly underneath going too much wedge. And that's the issue. You see all these players available on a free, but necessarily in terms of what their expectation for a weekly wage is, what they're ready to put pen to paper on for a 3-year contract is probably going to be a substantial amount of money outside.
Maybe
of what Southampton can offer.
I mean, Messi is still free agent, so let's not rule that out. In fact, Barcelona are a good club to look at. Like, have you seen Leeds have signed Fripo there? I think they're one of their left backs. Like, Barcelona's wage stuff is and it's so interesting to read about. They are in so much trouble.
Yeah.
They have to get 200 million euros off the wages. And if they get rid of, I think if they get rid of Griezmann, was it Griezmann, somebody out, the four top players, I can't remember which one it was. They would still be on around about 112 million that they still need to get rid of. It's crazy money. They are in so much trouble.
Oh, right.
Their shirt sponsors just pulled out because of the racisms, so that's bad.
If they have to, wow, I didn't hear any.
Yeah, their shirt sponsor. It was Griezmann and who's the other French player in the team?
Just about saying Mbappe. It's not Mbappe.
Not Mbappe, no. Can't remember who it is. Two of them made some rather distasteful. Not Varane. Two of them made some very distasteful remarks towards. I think it was a Japanese man, and their shirt sponsor is Japanese. And Griezmann's lost his Yu-Gi-Oh card sponsorship. All sorts of crazy stuff. So, and all their other sponsors have Messi clauses in their deals. Whereas if Messi's not there, you get this amount. So they're losing sponsors left and right. They have to get rid of 200 million on the wage gap. So it is nuts at Barcelona right now.
200 mil what per year?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not so bad. It's not so bad, but
still a lot.
It's still a lot.
Still quite a lot.
It's still a lot. You wouldn't have any players at most Premier League clubs if you have to do that at some of those. But that's
exactly. So everyone keep an eye out for any Barcelona players you want. Probably get them in a bit of a fire sale. The league are just falling apart. Another good year for Atletico. I think it's a good year to put a bet on Atletico to win the league.
Yeah. Well, great season last season. I just see Steve Bertrand coming in. Nice to see Bertrand get a deal. Did that get announced? Did it?
Yeah, he's at Leicester, isn't he? He's at Leicester.
Okay. Was it a 3-year deal? 2-year deal?
I think so. Yeah, it's a good deal for him. I'm going to be very interested to see Bertrand play in another team because I've always felt that we were maybe a bit too close to it because I thought he was a decent player, did a great job. I thought I rated him as a squad player. A lot of people said he was a bit too slow, too lethargic, didn't get back a lot. So a bit either also. It'd be fun to see him at another team with my sort of visors off me and be like, let's see how good he still is.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's still got some stuff there. And let's see how upset I can actually be like, oh my God, he's actually still class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, indeed.
Absolutely.
Question here from Scott: if Vestergaard doesn't leave, what do you think about five at the back?
I don't
I
hate
don't
it.
hate. Yeah, I don't hate it either. I think we played pretty well, sizing up against an attacking
Especially when we're
side.
only going to have one striker anyway.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna play like we're down to 10 men all the time. Yeah, it's
Exactly.
gonna be nuts.
Part of the bus
So
football. It's going to be amazing. So Ralph's finally going to have a plan B, and that plan B is then going to become plan A, and plan A will become plan B. It'll be great.
what do you think about the gun transfer? I'm
See,
not too worried about it. I'm
I'm
not
more
too worried about it.
I'm more annoyed at McCarthy getting a new extension. I would quite
Why are you
be
annoyed? Wait,
I would I would have rather. I know it's big thinking, but for me, your squad starts with your goalkeeper, and I see You look at Pickford at the World Cup at Euros. I look at Martinez from Aston Villa. I feel like you just get a decent keeper, commands that back line, is a shot. Like just spend some bank on a goalkeeper,
Yeah.
so there's no excuse. Like we all know that there are sometimes shots and goals that go in against us that probably should be saved. If Roy Keane ever watched one of our matches, he would be livid.
Yeah, I know.
And I feel like decent money on a decent goalkeeper.
It's like the one that we saw, wasn't it? Like right in front of us.
Yeah.
And it was like he didn't even stick out a leg, and it was just
Yeah,
like,
but that goal against Leeds really bothered me because I saw where that ball was going. We all saw where that ball was going. He saw it and was like, I'm not diving for that.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
it just bothered me. That was the closest I've been to him, and I was like, yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah, indeed. Jack, thank you again for the super chats. What do you think about Roman Peru, the new left back?
He looks rapid.
He does. He looks very good. I mean, I think whenever you look at a player in the French league, ultimately it perhaps looks a bit better than perhaps he might be in the Premier League. But stats don't lie. He looks like he's scored 3 goals last season. In terms of successful dribbles, the percentage is much
I think
higher.
he got quite a decent amount of assists. I think 6-7 assists. I think I saw he had as well.
Yeah, I mean, side by side stats. I mean, it doesn't make Bertrand look particularly good, but again, it's a different league, so we'll just have to wait and see.
That's what I meant about Bertrand. Bertrand was such a good, he was just solid. He kind of just did a job, and he filled out the squad. But there was always that part of me. I was like, maybe if we had another Kyle Walker-Peters on the other side, that's double the attack.
Yeah.
As long as he can get back, and if you're playing 3 at the back, I'll be more confident about that. 5 at the back, sorry. I feel a bit more confident about having him go forward.
Yeah.
So for me to have more attacks on both sides, I'm very excited to see that. And he does just look like a pacey fullback that can get up and down. We're going to have 2 attacking fullbacks, which would be great. So, yeah, like I said, I've always thought that maybe that was something that we may be missing with Bertrand. And there'll be moments where he did it, but, he didn't really have the pace to do that all match. So I'm excited to see him to do it.
Yeah, I'm massively excited for that. I think you're absolutely right to be able to have a system where you've effectively got a similar operation on both sides. So, because I think some teams were working us out and thinking like, oh, just got to watch that right back position and just make sure we just keep that quiet. And then we can pen them back.
Yeah, it got to a point last season where I think everybody worked out right. They're either going to run it down with Kyle Walker-Peters or Vestergaard's going to hit a long ball. So just stop that and you're good.
Yeah.
And that really was it. That was the start of every one of our attacks. And it just got really tiring towards the end of the season. So we can have 2 sides doing that. Wicked.
Because the Bertrand that I liked was the guy that was able to burst box to box and then put in a strike. And, the seasons where he was getting some goals. And that's the Bertrand that I will remember in terms of... And the Bertrand that does this.
Yeah, well, I think with the Bertrand, we will pretty much all remember is that throw-in against Bournemouth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Career highlight.
Fantastic.
Some people will say it probably the Champions League he won. I say it was a throw-in against Bournemouth.
Did you know what? That was his Champions League debut was in the final, and he wasn't playing left back. He was playing left wing back. He was actually out on the wing, so playing out of position. And my goodness, Champions League medal in your first game. So congrats to him. But we certainly wish Bertrand the very best and thank him for his service. He's been a great asset to the club, and we wish him well. Ryan's jumped on the show. Welcome along, Ryan. Really worried for this season coming up, not going to lie. I'm learning my abbreviations, NGL, not going to lie. So that's right, isn't it? Have I got that right? Man. Yep. I thought LOL was lots of love for years. That was really awkward.
That's,
Yeah,
that's not good.
It's not, is it? No. Should swap Elanusi for Prayer at West Brom. Yeah.
Bad.
I don't. Of the players that have come back from loan periods, I honestly don't see any of them getting in the squad. I see them either being sold.
I see Elanusi doing it.
Really?
Because I feel like the club has sort of as an affinity of players that do all right for Celtic, and I know he didn't do wonders at Celtic, but he did all right at Celtic. So I just feel like, and also it's what we were saying last season is that we need squad depth. So just to have a decent player on the bench, I'd rather have Elanusi on the bench than I would Janowicz.
Mm.
You know, so
but here's the caveat: Jankovic wasn't on 65, 70k a week.
You're quite right there. You know,
that's the crux of it, isn't it?
Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, fair play. Touche. You got me on that one.
Well, you know, that's the issue with Wesley Hoot, and we have who left. We've been sold. Hurrah! Yay! Wish him well, in a way. We have Mario Lemina again. He's on decent money, and we got Elanusi on decent money, and.
They all need to go. We need to clear that off. You're not wrong.
Yeah, and that's basically what's on the balance sheet, you know, because you've got 65, 70k a week. What is that? Come on, I did it the other day. 65 times 52. So, 65 times 52. So it's about 3.3 million a year. It's a lot of money.
That's a decent amount.
Yeah,
it's a decent amount. I mean, it won't clear Barcelona's wage problems, but yeah, absolutely.
Which is why the Brandon Williams deal is ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, that Brandon Williams deal is just stupid. Like, I don't understand what that is.
That works out that he would be the highest earner at Southampton.
Yeah,
wouldn't he?
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's the disgrace of it.
Yeah,
it would be terrible.
There we go. Let me see. Later the stream was Jankovic mentioned. Disappointed to see him go. Didn't think we gave him enough chances. Ralph is known for working with youth, but really seen it over his time here. Yes, we have mentioned Jankovic. Sorry, I'm getting good at reading. I'll get there someday. Yes, gone to Young Boys. I don't know. I just think a bit like the Lundalu deal. It wasn't really going to be able to get first team football at Southampton on a regular basis. So what's the point? You know,
a part of me thinks as well that because he's gone back to Switzerland, there might be a part of it that maybe he was a bit homesick as well.
Yeah,
you know that I heard a couple of rumors of attitude problem from him, especially by the time he handed in his transfer request in January. But I feel like I wasn't surprised when I saw it. You know, he handed that request in. He's gone to Switzerland. Okay, that makes sense. It's be interesting to see if there are some clause for it. Is I know that the fee was probably under $1 million. You know,
nominal.
Exactly.
Just going on here. It seems though Brandon Williams is now unlikely to happen. Yeah, we spoke about that.
Yeah.
But that deal, that loan deal is ridiculous when you work it out like that. I mean, if he wants a 2 million fee loan plus we pay his wages, he would be the highest earning player at Southampton. Ryan's here. I look at teams like Norwich, they seem to be doing better business than us. They have to invest in their squad to make them Premier League quality. So I think that's probably on the surface of it looks like they're doing a lot of business, but they have to. You know, teams like Watford and Villa, Fulham and Villa, when they came up, they spent huge amounts of money. One a little more than the other. So like, even Joe, it's all right. You're only 39 minutes late. It's fine. It's
fine, mate. There wasn't a stream before either, so technically you're doubly late.
But Joe is happy that Nalunda is staying long term. He'll do well alone, and it's exactly what we want. He's going out alone. He's gonna get game time. It's a good deal. I think that's a good deal. Absolutely. Fantastic. Well,
Football Crazy says Sam McQueen. I believe Sam McQueen is done. I feel like apparently his injury is too much. And
oh, really?
Apparently it was a very bad one. I could be wrong, and I might have to fact check it, but I'm about 75% sure, and that's decent for me. That I think his career's sadly over and done with.
That's terrible.
Not to end on a downer note, but I saw a couple of weeks ago. Just in fact, I think I saw that before the end of the season.
Oh my goodness. Well, we certainly wish him the very best, and hopefully he can find some other route in football that fulfills a little bit of his passion and continue what he's doing here. So yeah.
Youngest Premier League manager, buddy. Come on, let's do this.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. It's the comment here about the bikes.
See, told you the bikes.
There you go.
Yeah, well, if he was posting on the bikes, wicked. That was wicked. Did we talk about the bikes? I don't know if we did.
I think we talked about that off air.
Yeah, bike ride through the New Forest. I just said to Mike, like, nobody would believe it, would you? They'd be like, you were drinking, weren't you? You found a pub in the forest, didn't you? No, I promise. All of Southampton came past on their bikes.
We signed some bikes. We signed some bikes. We are Southampton. We signed some bikes. There you go. That's you up for the end of the show.
That's what they come here for.
Thank you, Ryan. I really needed that. That's a good smile to end the show on. So there we go. But as always, thank you so much, everyone who's joined us. We'll do another one of these maybe in a week or so's time. We'll drop in and have a bit of a chat about Southampton transfer activity.
Hopefully, we've got more to talk about.
Oh, we've been talking for 41 minutes. I think we're good on that. So we've had plenty to talk about on the scraps that we've had. But fantastic stuff. Well, thanks to everyone who's joined us here on the live stream. Thank you for all the super chats. That's greatly appreciated. Your support for the channel is certainly appreciated. Me and Jack will be back very, very soon. We'll put something scheduled for next week.
Absolutely.
As always, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we will see you all in the next one. Yes.
Yeah.